Did you know there are currently more than 450,000 adults in San Diego County who can't read or write well enough to take care of everyday tasks? Well, there is a local foundation right here in San Diego whose mission is to end illiteracy by providing effective one-on-one literacy instruction to any person who wants to learn to read. I'd now like to introduce the executive director of the John Corcoran Foundation, Kayla Mertes, and author of the 48-year-old teacher who couldn't read, the founder of the foundation, John Corcoran. Welcome both to the show.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy being here.
Oh, you have quite the story. Before we get into the foundation, what it does, can we share your story with the viewers?
Yes. I guarded my shame-based secret for 48 years. And I learned to read when I was 48.
So first of all, folks, he was a teacher. Let's give him a little background first.
Okay.
A teacher who was illiterate, couldn't read. I don't know how you became a teacher without being able to read, but back into that so they know who you are.
Well, let me tell you the story from the time I was a little boy.
Okay.
I went to school with high hopes to learn to read, like all children go. And I got to the second grade, and I found out that, like millions of other children, we have difficulty learning to read. Mm-hmm. Some people learn to read like birds learn to fly, and some people, it's a little bit more challenging. I was passed on, and in the third and fourth grade, I still couldn't read, and the demands for success in those grades is reading. And by the time I got to about the fifth, sixth, seventh grade, I changed my innocence to anger and frustration. I spent a lot of time in the principal's office. I gave up on myself in terms of reading. Thought something was bought into a big lie. Thought something was wrong with my brain, and I just couldn't get it. I got tired. About the time I was in the eighth grade, I really got tired of embarrassing my family and embarrassing myself. And so I sort of went underground with my secret. And I had some athletic skills and social skills. Dated the valedictorian, ran around with college prep kids, kept my eye on, watched other high school kids that were successful. And I passed through high school and started doing some cheating in high school. Low-level cheating.
That's called surviving at that point. You
Well,
know, you're being resourceful because you are getting passed through the system, and unfairly so. But you still have to survive, right?
Yes.
I'm not advocating cheating by any means.
I know, and it's important that I answer for that.
But you're a child. You were a child.
I was an innocent child, and that's true. But as a teenager, I was an angry teenager, and people ask me why I didn't ask for help. And children don't ask for help. Angry teenagers don't ask for help. I went to college on
Because you feel stupid asking, right? It's humiliating if you admit you can't read and everybody else is reading around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A number of reasons. And I did go to college on an athletic scholarship. I cheated my way through college. It wasn't the athletic department. It was John Corcoran. I take full responsibility for my behavior and my conduct. And of all things, after I graduated from college, I went into teaching. And I think, life is full of odd choices. And I became a teacher, and I taught school in San Diego County for 17 years at a public high school. And at the age of 48, at a public library, Carlsbad, I broke the code. A volunteer tutor got me to probably about the sixth grade. And I thought I died and went to heaven. And I decided to share my story. And here I am still sharing that story. And I kept my secret for 48 years, and my wife was the only person that knew I couldn't read. And now my family is very much involved in helping me share the story and invite parents and teachers not to give up on us. We're not dumb. It's never too late to learn to read. We can learn to read with proper instruction. And my granddaughter, Kayla here, the executive director of the foundation, is here to share some of the story about the foundation.
Kayla, thank you so much for sharing this story, because obviously with the numbers, 450,000 adults in San Diego County, that's a lot of people.
That's sure, 1 out of 4.
Yeah, I bet these numbers are astounding, and I bet a lot of people don't realize that. And the people that probably have this issue aren't sharing, you know, because of the same reasons. So I'm glad you're bringing it to the forefront. It needs to be taken care of. Kayla, tell us about what this means to you and what you're doing at the foundation.
We are providing tutoring for children and adults who've struggled with reading. We provide one-on-one services, both online and in person. We have a center in Oceanside. And we also do some classroom work, and we just are advocating for the parents who don't know where to turn when they're struggling with what to do at school with their kids, and for the kids who are struggling, who feel not good enough and that they cannot be successful at school no matter what they do. So in the short term, we're teaching a child to read, and in the long term, we're saving their lives, right? They are able now to have access to their full potential and break the cycle of illiteracy and the cycle of poverty that comes from low-level education and just all the struggles that we face with that. So when a child can't read by 4th grade, 2/3 of those kids will either end up in jail or on welfare. So that is outrageous, and we won't stand for it. And what we want to do is protect them from that and keep them in a safe environment where they feel successful and accepted and loved. And you know, like my grandfather, I mean, he went through his whole life feeling like school was the worst place he could be, and he had to show up every single day. And that is how those kids feel, and they are pushed on, and they lose a sense of who they are, and their parents want to help them, but a lot of parents can't read, so they can't help them.
And like you said, you know, that, and a lot of times they won't even ask for help because they feel like they're not good enough or something's wrong with them, and that feeling generalizes into all areas of your life. You got to fix the problem, otherwise it's just going to snowball effect, right?
That's exactly right.
Very awesome. I love what you're doing. I love it. Okay, so your 48-year struggle with literacy, you highlight the whole thing in your book, right?
Yes.
You have 2 books. Tell us about both of them.
Well, this is actually the journey to literacy, and it tells the details of my childhood and adulthood, and all the different stages and phases and of being illiterate. I consider illiteracy in America today as a form of child neglect and child abuse.
I agree.
And it's one of those social education issues that we can actually do something about, and we lack the will to really break this cycle. And we know, and even at the age of 48, I said that what I have been asked about what's the difference, and I feel personally that learning to read at the age of 48 filled a big hole in my soul, and I feel like if America teaches its children and adults how to read, it's going to fill a big hole in its soul too. And so it's a critical piece of life. It's not just reading words and writing words. It has to do with the spirit of feeling connected, communication and community. And so that's how passionate I am about learning to read. And I did learn to read. And what I never thought, most adults do not believe that they can learn to read. They really buy into something is wrong with them, and we have to change that thinking.
Yeah, Kayla, real quick, you were talking the scholarships applicants they don't even have computer or internet service in their homes. Talk about that.
So we provide scholarships, tutoring scholarships to low-income families and at-risk youth, and we have an online program, so they can access their tutor via web conferencing anytime. But most of the families don't have their own technology. So we also provide technology scholarships, and that is the same thing, getting the kids to be on the same level as a higher income peer, one who's doing better in reading maybe at school, and giving them a tool at home where they can literally learn to read. So what we are doing right now is a campaign to collect 90 computers in 90 days. And we have a stack of applications of kids who need help and don't have the technology.
Is this where the viewers can help now?
This is exactly where, yep. I've got to do the plug now, I suppose.
Okay, give us the plug. You need computers.
We need computers, and most families that have an extra computer around, a couple lying around the house.
Where were you last year? I just got rid of 2.
See, exactly. We'll take them off
and
your
I
hands.
didn't even know what to do with them, right?
Yes.
Now we know.
Yes, exactly. And so any any laptops, desktops, iPads, used or new, we will take them and we would love to give them. They will go, 100% of your computer will go straight to a needy child that needs it.
Isn't that amazing?
It is, and we want to be able to give this. We've been calling families and telling them we don't have computers yet, we're looking for them, and then as soon as we get them, we're
How
going to
many computers do you need? What's your goal?
We want 90 in 90 days, and we think that's
90 in
totally
90
possible.
days.
Yes,
Okay,
90
I'm
and 90.
donating at least one.
Woohoo, we're
Thank you.
there.
All right.
Okay, and how about you? Okay, we need help. It's
We do.
You know, there's power numbers, and we got to help this.
I'm often
That's
asked
situation.
why I didn't ask for help when I was a child or a
Yeah.
teenager. And of course, children don't have to ask adults for help.
Yeah.
Adults should be there to help them. And as a teenager, I was too angry. But today, I'm asking for other children
Yeah.
to let's break this cycle.
Yeah.
Send us a computer.
This is an easy thing to fix too. It's not like
It is.
you know, some terminal disease. Or this
Right.
is something that we can stop pain on a whole other level. Again, that actually stops so many other social problems.
Yep.
So
It's hard work for some of us to learn to read. It's hard work to teach some of us to
Yeah.
read, but we can learn to read, and we have to have the will to do it.
and people to care, like you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you in this foundation. Okay, we're going to pull up your website now so people know where to get you, or to find, not get you, but people will know how to reach out to you and donate computers.
Wonderful.
There you go. Reading Peace.